today we're going to do a Bordeaux Spritz, which you can use a Malbec or a Cabernet Sauvignon. We went with a Malbec, and then some Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur, and some soda. And you can use berries or orange slices as your garnish, and today orange slices. So 3 ounces of Bordeaux with that Malbec. 1 ounce of Saint Germain. And we're constructing this one in the glass. And top with soda, a seltzer, and garnish with an orange.
Welcome to episode 4 of Retire Boldly, Alaska to France. You will notice that Eric is not here, but he did make the cocktail of the week, which is a Bordeaux Spritzer. It was delicious. He made it a few days ago because he flew down to Seattle this morning to go to a concert. I highly recommend the Bordeaux Spritzer. It was delicious. It's like a red Bordeaux wine with elderflower liqueur and some like club soda. It was actually very light, very delicious, very refreshing.
Nice summer cocktail.
Yeah,
We're
very
getting into summer.
Okay, what we were going to talk about today is why we chose to do this together. We haven't really gone over Eric's and my relationship. We are married, but we are not a couple, but we still live in the same house. We raise dogs together. All of our finances are combined. We used to be a couple, but we're not a couple any longer, but we're really great friends still and very mutually supportive relationship. And Chrissy, we have been friends since, again, we've gone over this since we were
Middle school.
Yeah, middle
Current
school.
affairs class.
The fact that she can remember that it was current affairs just
Because we
boggles
both
my
like
mind.
history, we both like research.
Yeah. Oh, we created like a little town. It was Mr.
Mr.
Kinney.
Oh, Mr. Kinney.
And the other guy, Mr. Huntley.
Oh gosh.
Mr. Huntley and Mr. Kinney were our teachers, and it was like a combined class, so like 2 different classes. And I remember my favorite part was that we created a hypothetical town.
Yes.
And we had to build it, and we had to somebody had to propose things like a street lamp or things like that. And then they were in charge of our 7th grade and 8th grade survival trip. So do you want to tell people what a survival trip is?
Well,
for students in Alaska.
I remember going for Girl Scouts. We did a survival situation, but I don't remember going on middle school survival trip because I think I was out
you
of
were
town.
in my group. No, you were on my group.
To go out to Naha? Where'd we go?
No, we were on a boat and we went out to some island. I don't remember what island. How would I remember that? But we were with the nurse. So they had...
Oh my God,
yeah.
I do remember that.
Yes!
Why did I think that was Girl
She
Scouts?
blacked
Oh my
it
God.
out. It was awful. No, so they would have regular groups of kids, and there'd be like maybe 8 kids in a group, and then there was like the toughie group, and these are kids who grew up on boats. They were living at logging camps, and those kids could survive if you dumped them on an island by themselves, and you'd come back and they'd be 20 pounds heavier. And then they had the weaklings, and Chrissy and I were in that group.
Because I never had to forage for anything. No.
Well, I lived on a float house when I was
berries.
When I was young. I lived on a float house, and we had no electricity. We had no running water. We had you went to the back of the float house, and the bathroom was just basically a hole that went down into the ocean. We had a wood stove for heat, and that's how we cooked our food. And then there was a cupboard in the wall, and you would open it, and it was chicken wire that was outside, and that's the refrigerator, so we could just put stuff on the shelf to keep them cool. So that's why I am not a toughie. I love a hotel. I love really great sheets, and I blame the 8th grade survival trip, basically. But anyway, when you are raised in Alaska, you have to go on a 7th grade survival trip, which is on this island, and then the 8th grade survival trip, which is on a different island.
A coffee can full of nothing because it holds nothing.
Yeah, you get a Folgers can.
And you better know how to swim.
Whatever you can fit in that Folgers can, and you had to have your shelter. So we had like visqueen and we had string, and we were taught how to make a shelter from just visqueen string and then rocks you would find, and then you made fire starters.
And the astronaut blankets, those
Yep.
silver.
Yep. And then you could shove in as many Hershey bars as you could fit in, which 47 is the official number. But we were with Mr. Hamlin and the nurse, the school nurse, because she sent school nurse went with the kids that couldn't make it. And the only difference for us is that the teacher made a pot of stew that had potatoes and stuff in it. But all the other kids, you have to survive off the land. You have to eat what you can find on the beach and cook it. You have to start your own fire from scratch, and you have to survive, and you're out there for 3 days. And that's standard for Ketchikan to get through junior high. So.
Yeah, I don't know about now. Do they still?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's a big deal to go on the 7th and 8th grade survival trip. Every kid has to do it.
And I think kids are still all taught to swim as well.
Yeah, we had to learn how to swim. We had to learn how to do rescue swimming. We had most everybody got lifeguard certification. There was one day a year where they turned the heat off in the pool because all communities in Southeast have an indoor pool. They turned the heat off on the pool like the day before, and then the next day you had to get into the pool fully clothed, like you had a bathing suit on, but you would put a shirt and pants over it, and then you had to take your pants off while you're in the water, make a life preserver out of them.
There's sort of flotation device.
Yeah,
yes.
To make a flotation device. And yeah, you had to pass that class.
Because you fall off a boat here,
you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
You wander away into the woods.
You're screwed.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
Hypothermia starts pretty much immediately.
Right.
So
we've talked, okay, now this is about 8th grade survival trip, but we wanted to just talk for a moment about how we decided to retire as friends. So I don't know, what made you, because Eric and I were going to do it regardless, what made you want to come along?
Well, for one thing, I love Europe. I've been several times to Italy, to Greece, to London.
I love Greece.
And I know the weather that I want to be in the older I get. It's so true. You get colder and your bones want to be warm. You make fun of your parents when you're young. Oh, it doesn't need to be that hot in here. Yes, it does. We're always in sweaters now. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be cold anymore. And I want to retire with people that make me laugh, that I'm comfortable with.
We're hilarious.
That I know are going to perhaps take care of me and or push me into a care facility. Either way.
I'm pushing you into a care facility.
Either way, in Europe we'll have a better chance.
We might push Eric into one.
Have a better chance of being together in a house for longer than I think we would be here.
Yeah.
Based on nutrition, which is much, much higher value in Europe. They take their food a lot more seriously. There's a lot less things in it. They don't allow all the stuff we allow in food or in medications and supplements for that matter.
So
it's just a better quality of life for us, our choice. It's great here. I mean, I grew up here. I love it here. It's incredibly beautiful today because the sun is shining for a minute.
Yeah, it was raining.
Pouring earlier.
We won't go over the rain again. But we already spent holidays together. I do have family in town, but I'm close to some, not close to others. So,
and we've traveled a lot together.
Yeah, and we've traveled a lot together. You don't have family in town, but we're your family. So really, people can come see us if they want to come see us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine people turning down coming
to France, right? And then also we're looking forward to like shared meals. So our ideal is to have like a central kitchen, and then everybody having their own space. We'll have a central kitchen, which will save on food as we get older. We can make communal meals like, every third day it's my turn to cook, every third day it's your turn to cook, that kind of thing.
It also improves our nutrition. As you get older, you tend to eat simpler,
right.
But when you're by yourself, you tend to maybe skip meals, not eat so healthily,
right?
Stick with a can of soup and away you go. But if you're together, if it's communal, I'm much more interested in cooking. Right. I brought dinner tonight. I was much more interested in cooking because I was cooking for other people.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. And then also we're splitting costs, so that helps to keep costs down. We have a built-in support system. As we all get older, we just need people around us that are going to say, "Hey, girl, maybe don't do your hair that way." I always hope somebody tells me that.
And you have a hairdresser
maybe
for life.
Yeah, maybe don't use that eyeliner. Wipe that off. So we're just kind of looking out for each other in our old age, and I certainly don't want to end up in a position where we're just like kind of on our own and just struggling to like connect with people.
And that's the other thing about slowing down. And yes, we'll still be working, but at a slower pace, we can maybe take the time to connect.
Right.
Right now, we both work a ton. I don't really socialize much when I'm not working because we both work with people all day long. We see hundreds of people a day between the hospital and tourism. You see tons and tons of people. Some of them you know, some of them you don't want to know.
I love every guest that ever crosses my path.
I meant the people we know.
Okay.
That I see every day because I see the locals. But, you know, sometimes you just don't want a large group of people. But if we're in a smaller community, we can go out. We can make those connections at a cafe or wherever. Right. Expat groups as well as locals.
Right. We're looking forward to that, like just becoming a part of a community. And I am probably the more social of the people because I'm in entertainment as well. And I'm just going to drag them kicking and screaming into everything.
Well, Ketchikan doesn't have a lot of outdoor seating for obvious reasons. So I'm looking forward to sitting outside in a cafe, walking through a market, talking to people. I'd be much more social if it was outside and we could do those kinds of things. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking for a different social situation.
Yeah. And then what happens if one of us wants to go back?
Bah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't mind. Eric won't. Right. Eric will be happy wherever he goes. He's happy no matter what. He'll have the dogs, and we'll all be well taken care of.
I don't know why we would go back, except maybe to work if you needed to come back for work.
But
or to see family.
Yeah,
right?
But
to travel.
But like if somebody was like, I hate France, I'm out of here.
There's no celery.
Yeah, there's no celery. If you know, you know. If that happened, I mean, if Eric ever wanted to move back to the United States on his own, I guess he goes.
We'd help him.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
We'd figure
it out for him, but I just don't anticipate that happening. I think we're all very adaptable to different lifestyles.
I can't wait to travel. To go back to
Italy.
Italy.
We'll be much closer to the places that we really love to travel to.
Yes.
So if somebody's feeling like, oh my God, I'm like, let's go to London for the weekend then. Hello, there's a great reminder.
Show, perhaps?
Yeah, there's a great reminder that we're not, in a place that we're kind of isolated. And
see a show in the room.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot of great reasons why we would stay and not a ton why we would leave once we're there. That being said, who knows? You never say never. We have to be adaptable for sure. Right.
And willing to have some flexibility.
Right.
And it's going to be a while to get there. Like you mentioned last week, we're on an island. We have to go to Seattle. Then we have to go to New York or Boston or
I kind of thought about
somewhere else.
I thought about a solution, but we'll do that in a future episode where we talk about the dogs.
Multiple travel.
Right.
With or without dogs, it takes time.
It's multiple travel. So
with dogs, it's a little more complicated, but we're not leaving them.
Right.
That's not ever going to happen. And once they get there, they're just going to be like, yes, please, and thank you, because they're all sun lovers.
We communicate a lot. Like, I think on Christmas, I made this, like, questionnaire of, okay, let's all do this questionnaire separately of what you want from a home, your next home in France. And it was stuff like, how comfortable are you being away from a hospital? How close do you need to be to public transportation? How much space do you feel that you need individually? It was a big questionnaire. We each did it, and then we sat together and we walked through all of it. And it was kind of interesting because most of our answers were the same, but there were some that were different. Like Eric would be happy living in the Pyrenees and like up at the top of a mountain covered in snow.
I wish him well.
Yeah, we wish him well, but that won't be happening for us. So if he would like to live with us, then he's going to have to come towards the warm part.
Yes.
But it was great to just sit down and really talk through what the expectations were of what we're all wanting in where our next home will be. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we're not a unit. We do want separate private space.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a couple.
We're not all living together in the same
we want bathrooms, bedrooms,
right?
Communal kitchen,
communal yard space for the dogs, fenced.
Yes.
So all the dogs can play together.
Which they're doing right now.
Right now, Eric and I are actually, we do great. He lives in one bedroom. I live in another, it's like I've got the master suite. He's got the bedroom plus an entire extra building for all of his records. That's an entirely different episode. But yeah, so those are some of the reasons that we have decided to retire together. So if you would like to follow along on this journey, please like, subscribe. Every week we do a cocktail of the week. So I hope that you enjoy the Bordeaux Spritzer. It is delicious. And you can use any kind of wine because we tested it. We tested it with a couple of wines. So yeah,
Testing's important.
testing's important. Anyway, we'll see you next week on Retire Boldly Alaska to France. This is Chrissy and Shauna. Au revoir.
Au revoir.